be real. College is better than not having college.
Okay, what if I like Wendy's?
If you like Wendy's, then yeah, go for it, bro. Oh, I hate Pixar.
It's your boy, Skinny P and Xavier.
Oh my god.
What's good? My name's Jaden, and today's episode is gonna be like what it's like to be life of a college student.
I'm not in college though.
We're gonna ask questions, and we're gonna just like, what's your college story? Like,
College story. Well, like, all right. So I'm in business management. That's my major, and I basically want to become a successful entrepreneur, business owner. And I attend Stony Brook University, and they have their own college of business.
Yeah.
And I didn't honestly think I was gonna get into Stony Brook, but I did. And when I did, I told the school, and I decided I was like, yeah, this is where I want to go, and that's how I got here.
why didn't you go to college?
I don't think it's for me, man. With all due respect.
Elaborate.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
I always thought school was a lot of work. Not that it was, but I felt like college would make me try really, really hard. Nothing wrong with trying really, really hard in college, but I don't know. And I was also afraid of the debt. Pretty much mostly of it. Just the debt.
Okay.
See him shaking his head over there, man? That's my approval right there of me being scared of the debt.
So, what do you think are like the top struggles? Because I see the eye bags face.
Boo.
What do you think are like the top struggles you faced when going in college?
In the beginning and still now is honestly just time management, learning how to manage your time. Because
Editor, zoom into his eye bags.
so every semester, obviously, your schedule will change. So you only take a certain amount of classes for 8 weeks, and then for the next 8 weeks, you're taking whole new classes. Make a specific schedule that's gonna help you. Like for me, my schedule, like it's like all over the place because I don't do the same thing every day. It's not like high school where we're taking the same classes every day, all week.
Yeah.
So it's very different. And another thing is like when you're in college, there's nobody to tell you what to do. Like it's not like high school where if you don't go to a class, like they'll call your parents or they'll reach out to you. Nah, if you don't go to class, like
Do you
nobody
struggle
cares.
with that?
Not going to class.
Staying on top of your responsibilities. without
Oh
having
yeah, yeah, of
somebody-
course. That's like the hardest thing. Like when college is like you need a lot of discipline to like be functional and pass. Like it's so easy for me to just wake up in the morning and just be like, why the fuck am I gonna go to class? Who's gonna tell me not to do it? And it's just a fact that it's my future, so I have to go on my own accord to make sure that I'm successful and go to my classes and pass them and study. Another thing is like when people like watch college and movies and it's like a whole bunch of fun and like the class is like
Liars.
the class is like 10 minutes, right? And then they only show like 10-minute clips of the class and then the next thing you know you're like, yo, party's lit. Whoa.
Okay, so to play devil's advocate, since you didn't go to college, right? Since you have all this free time, what do you think it's more better to use your time on? Because now he has focus on classes, trying to increase his skill set through school. What do you do as a person who doesn't go to college?
You can do what you want. You can do whatever you want to do. College, whatever. Fucking trade school, excuse my French. But then there's also the time where, you don't feel like doing anything. And it could either make or break you, whether you want to do the stuff you want to do or just slack off and rest and just chill out, vibe out, do whatever you want. But there's a difference when you put all that time into doing what you want
Yeah.
or doing what you love to do, at least as to say, if you like to go to college, by all means go to college. You love college, you love schoolwork, you love
Nobody likes that. Nobody loves
Exactly.
Well, okay, so then there's this. He has a dream goal. You have a dream goal. How do you get to your dream goal? But also,
you have to apply yourself. You're either going to apply yourself, which is going to make or break you. You have to set up your schedule. I don't even have a schedule, but I know on my schedule is just going to be me on the game getting clips either way.
isn't that a little bit hypocritical though?
It is kind of hypocritical, but it's me enjoying what I do. I'm enjoying what I do. I love what I do. I love making content for video games. I love even being stupid sometimes around you guys. I love being an idiot. Everyone, likes.
There's a girl with the fat ass that walked by. Cut that out, Alex.
Nah, you don't gotta cut that out.
I want to see that ass again.
But it's different when no one's gonna stop you from doing what you don't want to do. No one's gonna stop you from you not wanting to do your work, but it's up to you to apply that to yourself. Unless you're just not gonna be, how do I say, you're not gonna be I don't want to say mature minded, but
Function.
productive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be productive if you just don't work off a schedule.
So what do you think about that?
He a little bit with what he's saying, but I feel like when you go the unorthodox route, right, there's greater risk this day and age because now a bachelor's degree is like the new high school degree. To get like good jobs where with high pay and being like having a lot of value as an individual, because if you don't have money and you don't have anything to show for what you've done in life, you're like basically equivalent to nothing based on society.
You're free.
Yeah,
like,
for
Even with
real.
all the bachelors, sorry to cut you off, with all the bachelors and stuff, like you could still not find a job. You could put all those years into college, and then some jobs would just be like,
Okay, but who do you think has a better choice, or not choice? Who has the better odds?
The person with
Defin-
a better degree.
that,
my input.
that comes into it.
Well, okay. To play devil's advocate,
I don't
what if
like
the
devils.
person who doesn't have the degree has trained and put so much time into their craft that they have better skills than the person with the degree?
I don't care.
I would
What do you
like to add on to before. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. You were talking first.
But yeah, so like you said, like what if somebody had more experience than the other person? At the end of the day, the person with the degree will always
That's
have
what I'm saying.
the better
Technically,
opportunity
That's what they're gonna look at.
on the books.
Yes.
And I'm saying this because once you get a degree, I'm gonna be honest, all colleges, all it shows to your employers is that you were able to complete a series of tasks
Over years.
over
of time.
4 years, and you did it good and efficient.
Efficient, yes.
Like even if you don't have no experience, it doesn't matter. Like that's like saying, okay, if somebody from Harvard applied to your job and then somebody who didn't go to college applied to your job, who are you picking?
Word.
Because the person with
depends on the job.
Okay.
Depends on the experience.
yeah, but the person with experience, even though they got experience, like it doesn't really like compare to somebody who has a degree that's like, especially from like such a pristine like an academy. Like even if you graduate from like, I don't know, any college really, you have more. I feel like you have more advantage than somebody who didn't go.
So you're agreeing with him as a person who hasn't gone to college?
Saying that the benefits aren't worth it,
No, that the benefits are worth it.
but
Like you're agreeing that
Going to college
is
worth.
good, yeah.
going to college is good. Oh
Or
yes,
worth it.
100%. Yes.
So that's a bit weird as a person who's not going to college.
saying that the best option would be to go to college,
Yeah.
it's
Life on
because
hard mode.
it's because
Wait,
there's
what?
I just like living life on hard mode, dog.
you know, some people, like I said, the people that don't like school and stuff, there's people that still can put themselves through the suffering, but I still, like, even as a kid, like when college was talked about, I was like, man, wouldn't go to college. It's not like, it's just I think college isn't for me. I endured so much years of school that now I can choose whether if I want to do school again or not, and I don't want to put myself through that again.
Do you think that your own suffering with school is self-induced? And now it's burned you twice?
I guess, yeah, I could also blame it on myself a little bit for being left back, but I felt like even if I wasn't left back, I still would have hated school just as
Well,
much.
provide context. Sorry, we didn't go into your schooling history.
Yeah, I was left back only once in sixth grade. So I had to do sixth grade in New York all over again when I came back after I used to live in Puerto Rico. So I failed because I didn't know Spanish. And, it didn't really, I just didn't like school. Even before I failed that year, I didn't like school.
What do you hate about it?
What did I hate about it? I hate just having to go to it. Just having to go to it and not get anything back out of it. That's what I didn't like about it. As much
You disagree?
Yeah. I would like to just add on and say, in my opinion, I feel like the reason that certain students don't like school has a lot to do with parenting. Because in my upbringing, school was always like a major thing, and it was like always something that I had to do. But the way my parents did it was like, it wasn't like, it was like a punishment. They didn't treat it like a punishment. They treated it like a reward. Because at the
Yeah,
end of the
see-
day, it's your future. And I understand, like I don't like being in college. I don't like classes. But one thing is, if you find like a class that you really like and it's something that you're interested in, you can absolutely like get a huge
Oh,
grades and like blow it out
yeah,
the
sorry,
water.
sorry to cut you off. I was literally gonna say, I was like, don't get me wrong. There's some classes that was really interested in that really piqued my interest, but there's also some classes where I just didn't like it. Like, I didn't like that I was being forced to do this, especially like I don't know, it was different. Like, see, with college, if you could pick the classes you like, which I think it's only a couple years, right, until you could pick your classes.
Nah, you could. Okay, so I enrolled in here through the EOP program.
Hmm.
So for the first semester, I didn't choose my classes. My counselor did. But for this semester, I chose my classes.
Okay.
But the thing is, with college, there's a lot of requirements, and if for me, I'm very lucky in the position I am because I have a counselor that I could reach out to 24. I said nobody tells you nothing. You have to figure it out. Nobody's gonna remind you when it's the finals. Nobody's gonna remind you when it's midterm. Nobody's gonna remind you when your homework is due. Nobody's gonna remind you when it's time to apply for classes. Nobody's gonna remind you, in my case, when it's time to move out. Nobody's gonna tell you that stuff. You have to be on top of your shit. You need to know all of this stuff, especially if you're dorming. In my case, because I dorm, so majority of the time, like I'm either at the library or I'm in my room or the dining hall. There's like a lot of places that I can be on campus, but it's hard. I have limited time. Like I barely talk to my girlfriend. I barely talk to my mom and stuff like that. Mainly when I have time, I do, and then that's it. But I everything is just like really cut short on time. Like time is the biggest thing, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm already about to go into my sophomore year of college, and this shit flew by. It
That's
flew
that's
by.
how school was for
Do
mostly
you not
everyone.
like that? That you have no time, and you feel like that you're not getting an immediate reward back in terms of monetary success.
I feel like I feel like it's worth it. I feel like it's worth it in the long run because you always have to look like I feel like you always have to look at life in the bigger picture. If you don't look at life in the bigger picture, then I feel like you won't like succeed all the time. Like I'm doing this for the long term. If I wanted to succeed short term wise, I'd get a job and I'd get reward by working and getting paid. But at the end of the day, with the long term, I'm putting these 4 years of my life and dedicating it to school so that way I could make more money.
Yeah.
And even though,
I just want to ask a question. Just want to ask a question. Do you think it's still possible for you to be successful in life without college?
yes, absolutely, you can absolutely be successful without life in college. You just have to find what's meant for you, and there's opportunities all around. Like, especially with
How did you do that?
how did I do it?
Find what you
Okay,
you assume that you think
so
for you.
basically, I did well. There was a lot that a lot of people around me always talked about how like everybody thinks that your family has the most impact on you, and that's wrong. It's your friends. Whatever your friends say, they affect you more than what your family says. So like, let's say your friends like, oh, don't go to college, man. That shit sucks. Like it's whack or whatever. And then like let's say two friends say don't go to college, and then three friends say go to college. Your odds of going to college are gonna be like higher because three of your friends said that. And like your friends have the most, like I said, the most effect on you. So like if I was to say to you, oh, I don't like your haircut, and like
Ouch.
I like your haircut, but like let's say it's just an example.
Thank
Let's say all three of us said we don't like your haircut, and certain people don't care what other people think, but deep down, everybody like it hurts in different
yeah.
ways. So if all three of us said, "Hey, I don't like your haircut," I think you might grow out your hair just a little bit
Mhm.
until we'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's better." So like also a big thing is like I said, parenting and friends. That's a major thing that decides your route. And this day and age with technology, you can literally sit in your bed all day and make millions of dollars, but you just have to find the way how. You have to do your research. You have to be dedicated to want to find how to make all this money. Like you need to. If not, you're just gonna be at home and just keep working a 9 to 5. Like I worked a 9 to 5 while in high school.
Is that what motivated you to want to go into business?
Yes, I worked at Wendy's 9 to 5, and it was like I worked 40 hours a week while senior year of high school, and I was tired. You saw,
Yeah,
I
I
used to
did.
come into class, and I
One
would
eyeball
fall.
falling out of his head.
I used to just fall asleep in class, even though I only had 2 classes my senior year, and I was lucky for that. That's why I was able to work. But the money was good, but it's fast money. When you get rewarded with fast money, you're gonna want to stay. You're like, yo, I'm getting paid every week. Like this is worth it.
Yeah.
Then you look at the yearly, and you're making 24,000 a year,
Yeah.
and you're like, damn, I'm not. I'm in the
Pennies.
bottom percent. Like I'm not making nothing. A car is 20,000 minimum.
Get your opinion, because you've been in both seats, one in college and now a dropout.
So my guidance counselor was like, "Yo, bro," bro. He was like, "Do liberal arts." That's what it's called. And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, sure, bro."
Liberal arts is terrible.
I didn't know what to do, so I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he made it sound so.
What does that consist of?
Okay,
English.
so liberal arts.
That's it.
No, you have to get your first base of 30, which is the normal math, science, all that stuff, right? And their electives. But then I think after that, the other 30.
Yeah.
The other 30, I think it has to consist of more English.
English is crazy. Also, liberal arts is like it's like a mix of everything. So it's like
Yeah.
math, science, English.
Just the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for people like me who don't have a life and aren't probably going to get one after college.
So
I'm going to be real. Don't do liberal arts. You should really find something better than that.
you're into art,
Yeah.
right? And both seats, like you've gone to college, you've
Yeah,
had
like,
semi the
I'm like
experience.
that really annoying guy on the bus that just has his legs so spread so no one else can sit next to him. That's me.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
All right.
So my perspective, I'm gonna be real. College is better than not having college. Now, if you can find a job that doesn't require college that you like, go for it, dog. Me, I
So,
would like to
like-
be an animator.
Okay. What if I liked Wendy's? So I should stay at Wendy's for 24,000 a year.
Do you like
If
Wendy's?
you like doing
If you like Wendy's, then yeah, go for it, bro.
But what if I like a job but it can't sustain me and my needs?
And I don't know what to tell you, bro. You should find something else to like.
So then there's the thing is like, you believe that people should ignore economic stability because they like something.
It depends on what you like, dog. I'm gonna keep it real. If you genuinely like that job, hey man, go for it. I ain't gonna tell you how you live your life. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. Plus, you can move somewhere to where that economic instability is very stable, like
Another
DR.
another question.
Sadly,
What if it's like one of your family
offense.
members and like they're like really down and they're asking and they're like, "Hey, should I stay at this job even though it can't sustain me?" Or like let's say somebody that's really close to you and you like care for them and you're like, "Hey man, I don't know if I should still work here. It doesn't really sustain me that much. Should I stay or should I go?"
I'll tell them the truth. I'll be like, no, you shouldn't.
Mhm.
And if you like that job, again, no, you shouldn't. But hey, man, these are all your decisions. Like I'll leave it up to them, but I'll give them my advice. I'd be like, it's not worth it.
Okay, so you would recommend for them not to
Yeah, I
stay.
would recommend getting a better job if possible.
Okay,
But
cool.
let's say the job you like is good and it doesn't require college, right? That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Like me, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of animation,
Uh-huh.
and in animation, you don't necessarily need college. You would need to have like a good portfolio. If you have a really good portfolio, they don't care if you don't know how to read. They'll be like,
Okay, now for my next question. Next question is, how do you go about making a portfolio without like instruction? Like, how do you know what the requirements are for a portfolio for an anime job?
that's what you have to do. You'd have to actually look up and see the requirements.
Okay.
Every studio has a requirement, even Disney and Pixar.
Okay, got you.
Oh, I hate Pixar.
Why?
Their requirements are ass.
Why?
They are so stamped, dude. Their animations. So let me give you something about Pixar. They have a very neat requirement. You need to have a style so good in terms of cartoon, they will not hire you if it's below par. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to animate the way they animate, and you have to be able to adapt the way they adapt. Quite literally, if you don't meet both those fields, they're like, no.
Do you think going to college for an
That
art
would help.
animation school would help?
It would help 100%. If you try doing it by yourself, it's very difficult. But I will have to warn you.
But it's possible.
Why?
Without college?
Yeah.
Oh, because you got to figure out everything yourself. You can use YouTube and stuff, but it's not going to be as direct as a teacher. Now, I'm not saying all teachers are direct, but for the most part, teachers help guide
Yeah,
you.
most
They
get
tell
down.
you how to go about it, and then on your own, it's like, where do I start? And especially if you don't know what you want. I want to draw like scenes and people, right? So essentially, I got to learn everything, landscape, everything. But let's say I only want to do landscape, I wouldn't know how to go about that.
So okay, this begs my question that I asked him: if school is better,
Why am I not going?
yeah,
I'm gonna be real. The reason why I'm not going to school is because I found that, in terms of for me to be in the art field, like I said, for me to animate,
yeah,
for me to animate, it wouldn't really like I said, for me to animate, it wouldn't require me going to school. So that was one aspect. But another thing about, at least again, animation, not everything. In animation, even if I did go to school for it, it wouldn't be a guarantee that I get a job and that I get, what thing I'm going for.
But wouldn't it
but
like
okay,
It would
yeah,
help,
raise your
but
chances?
this is what I gotta
another thing,
mention.
if nothing is guaranteed, why not go for quote unquote your best option
That is my best option.
on yourself?
Yeah, for me not going to college, because I was about to bring it up.
Oh, go ahead.
For college, when they make you do animations, it's not specific. That's what I was gonna go about it.
What do you mean?
It's like creative?
Yeah, they make you. They choose. No, they choose a topic for you,
Mm.
and then clearly, depending on the teacher, which is why I'm saying it's not guaranteed. It depends on whoever teaching. They'll let you choose or let you animate the way you want to animate. Like Yennefer, my sister, she went to school for animation and art, graphic design, stuff like that. But she had a more cartoony-ish, weird-ish, no style. But her school was only teaching traditional,
Mhm.
like real people.
Yeah.
So she was like, yo, that's not gonna help me. Oh yeah, that's not gonna help me for what I want to do. And the teacher was like, fuck you. And now she's banned from college.
Yeah.
And I'm for real. She has to write a whole apology letter if she wanted to go back at least to that college.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So that's why I was saying, like, at least for me in my aspect, it wasn't worth it. So I did my own thing. Plus, I kind of find it nice, the solidarity of it all. Just being by myself, doing my own thing. It's a lot harder, but I kind of like the challenge. I think it's fun.
Do you think that now, since you're not going to college, you're not a full-time student? So, like, for example, in terms of Xavier, he doesn't have to go to college, so he gets a job, so he gets money. In terms of Jaden, he goes to school and he doesn't always have to work because he's a full-time student. So, on the air of both sides, did you have a job during college?
Technically speaking, I did. It was the Gordon Ramsay's fish and chip shop. But since I dropped out before they made me start working, as context, they hired me in October. I didn't start till December. I dropped out in November.
That was perfect.
But right, let's say if I stayed in school as I had this job, then yeah, I would be working and doing college.
Do you think it's a necessity to work and do college if you're in school?
That is so dependent. It's hard. Like, all right, if I'm not gonna say dependent, I'm going to say it's not a
Well, I'm asking mostly for the average person
Yeah, I know that's what I'm thinking.
instead of like the
Okay,
anomaly.
okay. If you're dorming, then it might be a necessity so you have money to yourself to buy your own needs, right? But if you live at home, not really, because your parents maybe are providing for you. Yeah. But let's say for your own need, like even if you're not, like even if you are at home but you still want a job, it's not necessarily a necessity. But I would still recommend getting something, even if it's like you working a day or two a week, just because having that extra money in the bag is not only good for a plan B, let's say, like you need to buy stuff for college, or let's even say just having that money saved up for when you decide to get a house or, like a house, car, whatever, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would say it's a good option, but clearly if you don't have the time for it or you can't actually fit in your schedule, there's no harm in that.
Why not invest the money that
Like in stocks? I don't know.
like yeah, because everybody says like the best way to like
Or
is to
yourself.
save.
Like, so for example, you're going to school and say, let's take your sister's example. She learns traditional at school, but then also like buys like courses or classes online to where she can also perfect her cartoony style. So she has the best of both worlds. Would you think that would be more better for most people?
Are we looking in the
I-
animation
yeah,
aspect or
in
just
terms
general?
of
Okay.
like people going after
What they believe.
no, like things that more and require art. Because people can believe in like gender studies, and I'm like, what are you really gonna do about that? I'm sorry if you're studying gender studies, just drop
Get a
out
life.
already.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you're studying if you're doing gender studies in school, what are you doing, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, switch your major real quick.
Get a life.
What would you study if you went to college?
actually real.
I
'Cause
I
you never
said
went, which is really...
I said it would be two things. It either I'd be a journalist and I just write
Really?
Yeah.
You for real?
Yeah.
That shocked me.
like
No offense.
like writing about stuff. Writing is easy. Well, for me,
What
it's
inspired you to write? Okay, journalism.
to journalism.
Oh, yeah.
It started from
I'm trying to get my gator.
it started, my bad. It started from me watching this YouTuber who did a lot of drifting at the time. Remember I told you I was in a lot of into
Yeah.
the car scene, into the drifting scene, and he was explaining how he was able to get to Japan and able to get over there and like pay for all his car stuff. And he said he started over there as a journalist, and then he got like really into the culture, and so he just moved over there. But he still also got most of his money from journalists and going around like countries and stuff and writing things down, explaining stuff.
What
So,
would you
yeah.
write about?
Probably things that I like, that stuff that I enjoy, that intrigues me, probably, or stuff that fascinates
would you be
me.
an independent journalist, or would you work for a company?
It really depends. Whatever, I don't want to say whatever has the best pay because that's me money hogging, but
I mean, what's bad with that?
that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, betting on yourself, like you say, is the best option. I can make money by myself as a journalist, or I could work for people and be like some fake ass newscaster that works on stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But why would I do that when it could be something that I wouldn't be interested in? So if I'm not going to be interested in it, that means I wouldn't put my full attention into it. And I'm not saying I got ADHD, but that's a sign of ADHD. Is like when motherfuckers don't like. Well, I think that's anyone in reality. To be honest, if you don't like to do what you're doing, that means you don't like to do it. It's not a problem with you. That just means it doesn't intrigue you. You can do whatever you want as long as it intrigues you. As long as it's not weird. Also, let me clear that up. Weirdos, but still,
Okay. So in closing statements, what I want to do is I want the college student to give advice to the former college student and the non. True. I'll do me also, but I'm going around the table. I want one person to give advice for each of us, and we'll go around this way.
Okay.
You can start off.
All right. So my advice, I'm gonna give two advice. If you're going to college, and then if you're not going to college.
Oh no, for us.
Oh, for y'all?
Yeah, like personally.
Okay, so for
Cause,
Xavier, I'll go for Xavier. Okay, you don't need to go to college to be a journalist, but I recommend it to perfect your craft because me personally, I struggle with writing. Even though I've been good at it in high school, college is totally different, especially on the journalist level. It's like up here compared to high school, which is like all the way down here. So I'd say if you don't go to college to perfect your craft, that's my recommendation. If you don't, then I'd say like look for an online course that you can take that can help you perfect your craft, or read a lot of like work from journalists, especially ones that you're interested in, and like look at how their work is and then critique your work
based on
theirs.
performance,
Yes. And then since you're working now, I'd say invest. You never know. If you invest your money and you do your research on investing, you could become richer than all of us ever in the future. So that's my advice for you. My advice for Alex, you want to be an animator. Don't give up that dream. Like
Don't do it. Don't do it.
nah, don't give up at that dream because at the end of the day, like animation, like a lot of people watch animation. It's in our cartoons. It's in it's in our shows. Anything. You could even do like YouTube with animations. Like there's a lot of YouTubers that do animation like that.
Who told you that?
I literally crap.
2 thumbs.
Okay.
Who's got 2 thumbs and waves?
You like you could take a course, you can learn and just always practice your craft. Like even if anything, like try.
he
What's funny?
practices.
Oh, you practice?
No, because he stays up to 2 in the morning drawing.
Here, I'll show you something I've done. You can continue.
Okay, that's good. But like honestly, and I try to go to.
Sorry to cut you off. We're doing monk mode. Me and Alex. So stay tuned for that video.
I'm not calling it monk mode. I'm just doing whatever.
He's
I
not
want.
calling it monk mode,
I'm
but
just
it's
But it's
monk
monk mode. And I say try and find an art school. Like, it doesn't even have to be like for 4 years. Just something that can educate you and make you better in art and in animation. And who knows, maybe by going to art school, you can transfer your animation skills into something else that can help you go farther. Because animation, I think, in my opinion, it may not seem like a tough area to get into, but I feel like there's possibly like a lot of competition there, whether like we know about it or not. Because when you think about it, whenever we watch TV or we watch a cartoon or anything, we're not thinking about like, yo, who animated this. We're not thinking about that. We're just watching it, like whether it's good or bad.
Funny words magic, man.
Yeah. So that that's basically all my advice for you. And for you, Duo, my advice is that you're already very disciplined, so and you make your own schedules already. But I'd say for next semester, really make a crackdown schedule where you can follow it easily, and also it's okay to not understand and it's okay to fail even if you fail the class or just fail the test. Like, it's okay. Like, don't like stick on it too much, because the more you stick on your failure, then you're just gonna like it just like spirals from there. In addition, you already know, connections. Make a lot of connections. Teachers, students, staff, whatever. Make connections. And just, just always try your best. And if it doesn't work out, it's all right. Because
Advice.
I'm
I'm only good.
You can start wherever you want.
I'm only good with relationship advice, everyone. This is not going to be good. Alrighty.
Next episode coming soon.
What about a relationship advice? I'm all here for it. As I was gonna say, bro.
yo.
But advice to you guys. I feel like I give terrible advice.
You go person by person.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Alex, I say keep doing that. I mean, you already found a way to make your own animation technically on your own, and if you can do that, you could pretty much do way more than that if you can only know how to do that. So just think about all the time you could put into, well, not videos, but all the research you can do into and put that into your own work, or I would say like mix in a little bit of like styles with anyone else's or whatever you feel like. It's really all up to you because it's your choice. Also, I was gonna say that everyone, it's also your choice. You don't gotta do what anyone tells you to do. This guy was telling me to go to college, and I still didn't go to college. But I will, just not now. Right, Duel? Yeah. You don't have to do what anyone tells you to do. You do what you want to do. But back to what I was saying. Advice. Duel, yeah, like pretty much what Jaden said. You're already disciplined. You've been on the grind since middle school.
Came out the room with a pencil and paper. I'm so sorry.
He was building in the fucking room, man. I'm telling you, my man was building his brain, but he's been doing, I would say, whatever you need to work on, whatever you need fixing, time management, thought wise, like your work ethic, maybe your frustration, anything personal, you could work on that. You don't have to work on that with anyone. I know you really like to have friends. Everyone loves to have friends, but you could do that yourself. You don't need anyone for that. But you're already disciplining yourself. You just need to take it a step further, and you're gonna be there. You're probably the farthest ahead, not to be a dickhead and bring myself down, but most of us, you have your mindset already. Jane's in college. Jane's doing good. He's in the top college technically, I don't want to say in the world, but technically science college in the world. Everyone is doing their own thing really good right now. So I say maybe just try a little harder, I guess. You'll never figure it out. You never wonder. Maybe you'll figure something out, like all the coding stuff you've been figuring out, how you couldn't figure out the website stuff, You put a little extra thought into that, you figured that out, right? You fucking still doing this podcast stuff. Alex found a way to get his animation. Jane found a way to go to college without getting his mom upset, which I also wanted to pick up on that too when he talked about it's how parents see it. I 100% agree with that now that I look at it. I definitely agree. If your parents use school as a punishment, you will hate school. and I hate school. But it still will teach you a lot. Same thing with life.